I know a lot of Miami Dolphins fans have been slightly concerned that their second round pick, Jonah Savaiinaea, has not signed his rookie contract yet. Well, on today's show, we are going to look at why that may actually be the case. And I'm going to tell you why I am really not that concerned about it. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. And it is not just Miami, by the way, that has not signed their second round pick. Out of the 36 rookies that were drafted in late April that have not signed their rookie contract yet, 30 of the 36 have come in the second round. So if you're doing your math, there are only 2 second-round picks that have actually signed their contracts. It's not a Miami issue. It is an NFL issue. We'll dive into why. But hit that thumbs up icon right now. We're doing a like battle between us and the Raiders Report. Mitchell Rent, you might remember the name if you're an OG here at the channel, challenged us to a like battle on this video. Who can have more likes on today's show? So let's see if we can take him down. Hit that thumbs up icon. I want to take it back 1 year. Why am I taking it back a year? Well, as we're filming this and pushing this video out, it is June 27th. Last year, all 32 second-round picks were signed by their respective teams by June 17th. So we're actually a full 10 days after the last one was signed a year ago, yet there's 30 of them unsigned right now. And the reason why we are still waiting for these second-rounders to sign, it's all about the guaranteed money in that contract. There has been a misconception, I think, about what the issue has been. It's not about the actual contract because every second-round pick is slotted with a specific value for a deal. What is kind of changed is the amount of guaranteed money of that contract. So with Miami, Jonah Savaiinaea is getting a 4-year deal that is worth about $11.7 million. But the question is, how much of that $11.7 million over the 4 seasons should be guaranteed? A lot of prospects are now looking to get that contract fully guaranteed over their rookie contract. Why is that? Well, it's because history was actually made this year by the Houston Texans and wide receiver Jayden Higgins. Joel Corey of CBS Sports talked about this, saying the Texans got the ball rolling on this year's second-round signings by giving the 34th pick, Jayden Higgins, which was the second pick in the second round, an unprecedented contract on May 8th. A day before their rookie minicamp started, they signed Higgins to a fully guaranteed second-round contract, which was the first time a second-round pick has ever gotten a fully guaranteed contract. And following suit was the Cleveland Browns, who had the first pick in the second round. They gave the linebacker out of UCLA they drafted, Carson Schwesinger, a fully guaranteed contract as well. So the 2 second-round picks that have signed to this point in the offseason, the first pick in the second round and the second pick in the second round, both of them getting fully guaranteed contracts over their 4 seasons. So that is what NFL agents and that is what some of these players are wanting from their teams that they were drafted by. Hey, they got fully guaranteed contracts. I know it's never happened until this year, but why can't we get fully guaranteed contracts as the 38th pick, the 40th pick, like Jonah Savaiinaea was? And it feels like we are in a hold-up pattern right now. Why is that? Well, you could blame the New Orleans Saints and quarterback Tyler Shough, the Louisville QB drafted 40th overall. Shough is trying to get a fully guaranteed contract. Him and his agent are working very hard on that. And to be honest with him, I do actually understand why you see a linebacker and a wide receiver get a fully guaranteed contract. Shough is going to be the starting quarterback in New Orleans since Derek Carr retired. So it's like, yeah, he should probably be gunning for a fully guaranteed contract as well if a wide receiver and linebacker can get a fully guaranteed deal. And we're in a holding pattern right now. We aren't going to see second-round picks sign with these teams until the domino of Shough falls. Everybody is waiting to see if Shough gets a fully guaranteed contract from New Orleans. If the Saints give him a fully guaranteed deal, I think we're going to start to see other second-round picks just be like, okay, we're getting fully guaranteed deals now, and the front offices have to give in. But if Shough gets a partially guaranteed deal, well, then these front offices are going to say, like, yeah, man, it's not everybody getting fully guaranteed deals, so why are we going to give you one? It's going to be an interesting kind of situation to follow here. Once we see Tyler Shough sign his rookie contract, that's when we'll start to see most second-round picks start signing their deals going forward. At least that is what I am projecting. Are you concerned about Jonah Savaiinaea not signing his rookie contract to this point? Be honest with me. Today's pinned comment. Type Y for yes or type N for no. As I have mentioned, The NFL agents are just going to be waiting and waiting to see if they can get their players fully guaranteed deals. And I don't blame Jonah, and I don't blame the NFL agents. We saw history be made this year with 2 second-round picks getting fully guaranteed deals. If I was in their shoes, I would also be trying to get a guaranteed contract to the maximum. So I am not going to blame Jonah or his agent to try to get that for himself. And that's the reason why I'm not concerned. So if I was answering the question I just asked you all, I would be typing my ends. Like, he is going to sign his contract eventually. We are not going to have a holdout situation like Shamar Stewart in Cincinnati. We've actually already seen Jonah Savaiinaea on the football field in minicamp and OTAs for the Miami Dolphins. So he's not holding out. He is just going through all of the practices, and then when the dominoes start to fall, he'll sign. And I do expect this to be fully resolved by training camp. I don't imagine this dragging out that far. This was going to turn into a conversation now on the show about how excited I am for the second-round pick that the Miami Dolphins made from Arizona. The versatile offensive lineman is going to come in and be a difference maker for the Dolphins' offense from day one. I have been speaking his praises on multiple videos throughout this offseason. We talked about it right after the draft. We talked about it after ESPN hyped him up as a pick for Miami. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago when James Daniels hyped up Jonah Savaiinaea, which is, by the way, why you need to subscribe to the channel, because we put out a video about this just a couple weeks ago. This is what James Daniels said. Jonah reminds me of one of my old teammates, one of my good friends, Isaac Seumalo. They have had a very similar movements and stuff. He's always texting me. He's always texting other players asking for advice. So it's always working after practice. I'm excited to see his development. This should fire you up, man. Seumalo has been an absolute pro in the National Football League. And if Savaiinaea ultimately has a career like Isaac Seumalo, I would be pretty happy about that with that 38th overall pick. But as I just alluded to a second ago, you need to be subscribed to the channel because we talked about that quote from Daniels and Jonah in depth a couple weeks ago. And you might have missed it because you weren't subscribed and you didn't have your notifications turned on. So let's change that. Join the channel today, join the Dolphins Today family, and hopefully you join us for every day because we put out videos on a daily basis. One of the reasons why I'm so excited for Jonah is his versatility. He could play multiple positions on the offensive line. I think he could legitimately play 4 out of the 5. I think he could play right tackle, right guard, and left tackle. I would not put him as a center potentially, but his versatility is absolutely in play with those other 4 positions. Why do I say that? Well, it's because he played a full year at right tackle. He was a 3-year starter. He went full year at right tackle. Then the next year, full year at right guard. Then his final year, he split time between right tackle and left tackle. So he knows where to play in the different styles, the footworks, the techniques at all 4 positions, basically, outside of center. And this past season, he was absolutely phenomenal in that year of bouncing from the right tackle spot to the left tackle spot. Graded out extremely well. He was a better pass blocker than a run blocker this past season, according to Pro Football Focus. And I don't really disagree if we're going to be completely honest, but his athleticism and ability to fit the Dolphins' zone run blocking scheme is another reason why I really like Jonah. You look at his career grades in the run blocking game, he is much better when in a zone scheme than a power gap scheme. And we know, don't want to speak about it too much, but the Dolphins run a lot of wide zones, right? They do a lot of end arounds. They do a lot of tosses. They do the stretch zone runs. They are not a power up the middle rushing football team. Now, I do expect that to change a little bit because of the running backs they brought in, like Alexander Madison and Ollie Gordon, and the upgrade to that interior offensive line. But the basis of this Mike McDaniel offensive scheme is still the wide zone, outside runs, and then turn that into play action. Use your speed on the perimeter. Jonah is a very athletic offensive lineman, graded in the above 9.5 in his RAS for an offensive guard. He is going to fit on this interior offensive line perfectly for the Fins, and it's why Miami traded up from 48 to 38 to go grab their guy. All right, we're going to finish out the show here in a second, but 4th of July is just around the corner, and they've got Dolphins 4th of July gear right now at chatsports.com/Dolphins4th. How about that blue shirt with the Dolphins USA logo? Absolutely incredible stuff. If you want to represent the USA while representing Miami as well, get your shirts today. Chatsports.com/Dolphins4th. If you order today, it'll come in before the holiday. Links in the description and comments of today's video. Jonah is going to clearly have a large role, and I think he's going to start day one, and I don't think that's a hot take to say that. The question is, where does he start on the offensive line? We know Austin Jackson's your right tackle. We know Aaron Brewer is your center. We know Patrick Paul is your left tackle, replacing Teron Armstead, who retired this offseason. But signing James Daniels in free agency gives you two different options. You can either play Jonah at right guard or you could play him at left guard. I project him to play right guard because, one, he's actually played that position at college. I do think he could play left guard, even though he didn't do it at Arizona, but he's already played right guard. So I like that he's already done that. I also like the idea of having him sandwiched between two of your veteran offensive linemen and Aaron Brewer and Austin Jackson to help kind of smooth over any of the rookie mistakes, if you will, and you have two veterans to communicate with him on an every down basis. James Daniels can play left guard. Now, I will say, in Dolphins minicamp, it looked like Daniels, who was not on the team activities, might be playing right guard because Jonah was next to Patrick Paul at the left guard position. We'll see if that's just because Daniels wasn't participating in team activities to this point in the offseason as he recovers from an Achilles injury, or if that's the plan to actually put Jonah and Patrick Paul next to each other on the left side and then James Daniels at right guard. We'll ultimately see. But there is no question he will be a starting offensive guard for Miami right away. There's just simply no other options for the Fins. They do not plan to start Liam Eichenberg. At least I hope they do not. And there's not any other interior offensive lineman that I would probably put above him anyway, which is why Jonah will be a starter. You trade up to get him in the second round, he's going to be starting from day one. The reason why I'm so excited about Jonah, not only is the versatility, the fit in this Dolphins scheme, it's how him and James Daniels may provide a very balanced offensive attack for Miami. With them replacing Eichenberg and Robert Jones on the interior, this offensive line is just so improved from a year ago. And if you're able to run the ball more consistently and at a better clip, you will then have a more sustainable offense that is more well-balanced. And that was something that was missing from a year ago. With Tua hurt and the inability to run the football, the offense was horrible. And it's why they ultimately won 8 games despite having the easiest schedule in the entire NFL. If Tua stays healthy, which should be easier to stay healthy with a better offensive line and a more well-balanced offense with this rushing attack, you may see a top 10 offense in Miami once again. Confidence level in the Dolphins offense. Are you hyped for this new unit? It's honestly a pretty solid group. Scale 1 to 10 for me down in the comment section. I feel pretty good about it. I definitely have my confidence level in the high 7s. I'd probably go 7.8 if it was me. And it's because this offensive line will be improved. It's hard not to be improved. If you just go back from a year ago, on PFF, the Dolphins' offensive line was graded out as the 27th best run blocking team. Bad, bad, bad. 20th pass blocking team. Bad, bad, bad. They only had 4 yards per carry as a team, which was bottom 5 in the NFL, and they were the worst team in the National Football League in rushing first down percentage. What does that mean? The amount of runs that they had that ultimately gained them a first down, 20.7. So the fact they had the worst rushing first down offense, a bottom 5 run blocking offensive line, a bottom half pass blocking offensive line, and a bottom 5 yards per carry team. There's no way for that number not to go up, especially with making the improvements at left guard and right guard this upcoming season. So I am much, much more excited to watch this well-balanced Mike McDaniel offense this upcoming season than what we watched last year. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel as we head out of here today's show. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us and watching this episode of Dolphins Today. When we get to the season, we'll be live for every game. So join the channel and the family here at Dolphins Today.